Hello, it's AVTpro, Advanced Visualization Technology Productions, and my name is Alonzo Von Threet, and I was very happy and excited to see that Ye Art is starting to release, this artist agency and artist consultant, is starting to release some of the imagery of animation and work that we've done for Daniel Lee, David Wu, and I have done for Daniel Lee. And so this is called Shuffle Dance 2020 Animation Installment. Now it's 2021, so I guess it was probably a delay because of the condition. The crisis rather. So I'm glad to see that they're starting to finally release some of these, some of the images, and this is based on Shuffle Dance, which I was responsible for the animation. And even though I was going to use the mocap lab that I have at the university, that I wound up keyframing it by hand. I'll go into those kind of stories later. I'm still NDA on this stuff, can't talk about it too much, and I don't plan on talking about it too much, even though I'm very long-winded and like to talk about stuff, especially that I'm involved in. But here are the original Piggy Girls, and I had already did a sculpture based on this type of thing. And what I wanted to show was that if you go to Ye Art or Ye Collector, which it's a Asian or Chinese site, so you have to click English over here in the top right corner, and then you'll be able to see this. And this was some of the work I had, sculptures that I had done for Daniel Lee. So we had the Merman exhibit. And I want to say that when you see this, it says NT 55,000. That is new Taiwanese dollar. So I think it comes in the American dollar is like $2,000 or less. So this is in Taiwan, U.S. Taiwan. And again, you see 50,000, but it actually comes to about 16 or 16,000. So you can actually own one of these dancing Piggy Girls from Ye Art Collectibles or Ye Collector. Here is the new project that is coming out, which again I'm extremely excited about. It's been a while, so it's been on hold. And you know me, I like to publish stuff as soon as I do it. I have a reason for that, but anyway. Anyway, so I noticed this monkey in here, and this is part of that dancer that I just showed. So this is the frame, the original artwork, which of Daniel's vision and design for that particular piece that was first done as a sculpture, and I actually didn't have. So anyway, but you'll notice that there's a dress and it's clothing and has a personality. Daniel has a complete ethos behind the story of why the piggies are dancing. So I hope you get into it. I don't know all about it, but I just love doing like fanciful fantasy animals and creatures and anatomies and mythological creatures, or what I call like Narnian. From Miles, big influence me, Narnia, C.S. Lewis, Narnia, and Lord of the Rings type of stuff. So I have been studying that technology, like the cave troll from Lord of the Rings, blockbuster franchise for eons. I had those DVDs and discs, and I studied that. And it's really interesting because to do Daniel's work and to get the anatomical structure or the musculoskeletal structure of these type of creatures. Artists basically only have to study a topological or cosmetic layer of what affects the surface and bones of those the surface, the skin, the muscles, and the bones. But because I rig, I have to study or rigging, which is setting up an armature or a puppet type of mechanism, computer generated mechanism to move the synthetic characters or synthetic thespians. I like that. They're like actors, characters. So to move them, I have to build an armature which I can move that has all types of inverse kinetics and all kinds of technology, wonderful, amazing technology involved. But I usually have to study all the bones and even inside the character bones that most artists that don't have to study. So this is what this is. Some of the productions, and this is the original. And you can see, like, we did it one way and then had to change it. And so there was a lot of iterations to make this fine art as opposed to just illustration or computer graphics. It is a lot of fine art. And Daniel Lee is a well-known fine artist. I used to do painting, and so I have an artist background, and I had hoped to be a fine artist one day. But when I moved to New York, I said, well, I need to be an illustrator, make have a regular job. And even that was heavily involved. So I got into production, and fortunately they had computer graphics. And so that was, I went to agencies and everything for that. So yeah, it's not a joke. And so I respect the hierarchy. Fine artists are like the knighthood of artists. And so there is some discrepancy between illustrators. So you have other artists who are like Norman Rockwell that are illustrators who are, or Frazetta, which are renowned illustrators in the field, world renowned, but they're not considered fine artists. And so that's to be in a museum and to do museum quality work. That puts you like Da Vinci Museum level. Those are fine artists. They did all other stuff. Da Vinci did, weapons and design weapons and the tanks and helicopters and architecture. And so they do have a general scope that at some point, I mean, society looks at it one way, but those artists obviously had a much broader range and large gamut that covered the full spectrum of whatever had anything to do with art. That's how I see it. That's why I like art, animation, any kind of 3D printing. And so these, I think that I do work for other museums as well. I've done work for the Guggenheim, Frank Gadry Sentosa Museum. These are world renowned. And so it is what it is. The proof is always in the pudding. So there you have it. So Daniel Lee, I know that there's some discrepancy about digital, but Daniel has walked a very fine line between art and technology, and he's walked it very gracefully. So it's just amazing to be a part of that team. I also want to thank Autodesk because without their latest release, check the film credits. Without their latest release, this stuff would not have been possible. Also, Thomas Ager, owner of Electric Image, would not have been possible if him and his team of programmers had not created or innovated or have revamped tools during this production. So that's why I want to be very clear. Electric Image is still alive and well. It's just in R&D, research and development, and still in beta. But they are still developing tools, and we made this, work possible. It wouldn't have been done, literally wouldn't have been done if it wasn't times I said, hey, Thomas, we need to correct this, or we need to add this. And with that, we've been able to do this particular work. Daniel Lee it's very challenging working with Daniel Lee. He covers every minutia micron of detail with this. So I have I am a contributor, and I have my contributions to it, but it's all art directed and design and vision of Daniel Lee. And I'm very glad to be part of his 3D team. We were part of a studio, so we have had a local contact, and we started from a headquarters in New York. I was part. They were gracious to let me into their studio when my studio closed, and I went to work for Philip Morris. I have worked for Philip Morris. I have done work for BMW, Mini Cooper for years, several years. JD Powers and Associates. Like I said, I did work for what I call. I had all of these pet names. So the Facade, the Glory of Commerce facade on top of the Grand Central Station. I did a polishing. I did a cleanup, or I resculpted a LiDAR scan for that sculpture on top of the Grand Central Station for a proposal for the directors of for the Guggenheim. David and I have worked on the Sentosa Museum. Frank Gehry, I'm sorry, international renown, like Frank Lloyd Wright, international renowned architecture, Sentosa Island. We did Aquabriz, which is another type of fictional character or speculative fiction, some say, but a hybrid, genetically kind of thing. So you have to look into it. I don't want to talk too much about it right now. I just want to focus on only what was on the post. And so I did these animation. We were going to I could probably say this. We were going to use mocap, but this was hand keyed. I hand keyed this stuff. I did the claw, the fur on it. I don't know if you can see the detail here. The sculpture, again, highly, highly art directed to the umpteenth power by Daniel Lee. The actual dress. It was over a year's worth of work. Over a year and a half, and actually it was fortunate that I did sculpt this before, so we picked up from the previous sculpt and was able to revamp that, and so that helped push things along. Rendering by David Wu, of course, marvelous designer for the dress. I had to redesign a dress. There were many changes involved in that. And so, yes, we did actual dress and claw simulation. This is why I left New York. I wanted to do this type of work, and knowing what it took me to get to be to teach in colleges in New York. I've taught at Pratt, Parsons, New School of Design, Bridgeport, Connecticut. You know, and again, check the credits. It is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. I am local, Buffalo local. I am looking for angel investors for work I'm doing with Artem. Artem. I've talked to one investor, not the investor, but I recently made a contact. I'm moving ahead with that. So, and there's a lot of great things happening. There's 2 film companies, more and more film companies. I do have connections and access and stuff like that to particular things. So, hey, talk to me. Anyway, so here is the display of what he's going to do. Now, this is another part of the genius of Daniel Lee. I did the merman stuff for Ye Art, and I did the animation again for Ye Art. I did. Let's see if I can find it really quickly. Let me go back one. So I did this sculpture, and then I think you have to go to daniellee.com. Let me put my mic down for a second. I broke it. I had to. Anyway. There you go. Let me see if I can. find it really quickly. I may even, bear with me 1 second. Daniel Lee. I don't, that's it. Here. Okay. I did this. But here again is this genius for the work from, and here is a full VR walkthrough. So you can actually see the exhibit. Now, they did talk to me of going to Taiwan, but I am not really that much of a traveler. So, but you can actually walk through the exhibit here. I haven't been here in a bit, so I'll come back to that. That's not what I want to show. I want to just show you quickly just how amazing this. And again, this is what's great about Daniel. This is, I actually have my rigs on display, the armature, and there's one of the muscle units. Now, I was started to use that, so I only put one here, but in the latest one I have more muscle rigs. This is a human being, and this is the scale of this. So this is big. This is a 6 foot sculpture, so it's a quite an honor, and you can control this. You stand here, and you can control this, and look and flip and interact with this. So this is the technology. So, and they put all of this display. So this is how and what I mean. This is a 3D print, and again, now differentiation. This is a work of art, and this is tadpoles. So this is a school of tadpoles, and so the reproduction. He epitomizes the reproductive quality of actually tadpoles and the large school and reproducing this. I mean, it's really heavy the way he did this. Yes, I did the sculpture for that. Here's the actual animation. You can actually see the animation that was done. So I was able to animate this. And again, I did the animation, the sculpture, and the rigging, and the texturing. I didn't do the shading, the final look development. The final rendering. David was responsible for that, and electric image. And again, another instance where if we didn't work very closely with electric image and them solving any kind of hurdles, problems, or anything that we had while doing it, it would have never happened. So again, there is an animation for this stuff, and I was able to keyframe it. But here's the exhibit. So with Daniel, and this is a part that I was not involved in. And again, I would like to, like musculoskeletal structure, with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings stuff, the study eye stuff, we actually did use muscles, and that stuff is helpful. So we are actually, synthesbians, synthetic thespians. We are doing that and just taking it to the high level. Yi Art and Daniel Lee, and there's the sculpture, the next exhibit. This stuff is huge, top echelon of fine art. Don't overlook it, see what's happening. I guarantee you it's something new and something interesting. And you can own it. I think they have a gold plated one. I think that one is sold out. And so, yeah, this one is sold out. And so I said I wasn't going to talk long, but you know me, talky. Anyway, so there you have it. Very pleased to see that this stuff is starting to come to light and fruition. And again, I had to simulate and design the clothes, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. This is the scale of this kind of stuff, in centimeters. And so this is the 21. So it becomes a human interactive experience where you can, and so I'm really glad of that too, because I work so, solitary as an artist, in such solitude, that to see people being able to interact and enjoy with something that I actually have a part of. Maybe I should have went to Taiwan, but like I say, I'm not really, I mean, David came here and gave me one of the piggy sculptures, which I'm very honored to have. But and David speaks Chinese, but I mean, I have a sense of adventure, and I would feel a lot more, but just looking at signs and I couldn't see what they said or couldn't read it would be a little bit daunting for me, culture shock wise. But if I had Daniel, like or David, of course I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I have work to do and I animate, so hopefully one day. But right now I'm trying to finish Artem's work, and so I am really happy to see this. To get this profile right for this face, Daniel is absolutely, it was absolutely, this profile is exactly like his profile that he gave me for the plans. And once it's all out, hopefully I will be able to share. You can see this is just a different iteration. And so it's just wonderful, that we can produce or be a part, or I can be a part of something that can take it to whole nother levels that I hadn't imagined. So I ultimately I give God the glory, and I'm very thankful, and I'm thankful to Autodesk. Could have never been done without Autodesk. I have to take this out. I do some advanced work in Autodesk Maya because the leading software. Roll the credits. You'll need two bags of popcorn to finish the credits. A list of IMBD listing. More than two bags of popcorn. I know you got free software coming out nowadays. Roll the credits. That's all I can say. And so without there, since I have to take the advanced stuff that can be done in Autodesk Maya and Motion Builder into Electric Image, highly advanced muscle systems, Lord of the Rings type stuff, Narnia, the directors of Narnia, and the movies, and like I say, I enjoyed that stuff since I was in high school, and so it was really wonderful. C.S. Lewis, and so I felt like that I'm a part of that whole Imagineering type of genre. So anyhow, if it wasn't for Autodesk, there was hurdles involved in my particular pipeline to send the renders to David Wu so he can finish off the textures and the lighting and the looks and the materials. And as you can see, this dress, you can't see all the detail here, but once you see it, it's pretty amazing to me. I'm really happy I did this character and not that character. Anyway, but I love the Piggy Girls. I have a terms of endearment. Like I say, it reminds me of Narnia, so I call them Piggy Girls and Pretty Piggy Girls. And different cultures have different attitudes about different creatures. Like Asian cultures, they don't. They had like the year of the rat, the year of the pig, and stuff like that. And a lot of them really adore them, and so a lot of I knew an Asian girl once, and she just, oh, cute piggy. Anyway, whereas I'm like, hey, it's a pig, but after I did the Piggy Girl, I was like, oh, piggy. Anyway, piggy. Anyway, So I just really enjoy myself with this. I do it because I love it, and I just want to stay on track and get back on topic. I really be in order to take some of the advanced features from Autodesk muscle systems and to have it influence the deformations and the weighting, the jiggle on a maybe I should not talk about that, but to get that stuff into electric image. There were certain roadblocks, hurdles, and catch areas, according to my pipeline, that would not have actually worked if it wasn't for some of the latest releases. It'll work in Maya, but I had to take it to EI. So it was a different story. And so without their specific features that they did it in the latest version, they saved my butt. And that's why I have such a loyalty to them. If they hadn't have done it, I wouldn't have got it done. And it's like when you realize, oh, it wouldn't work, and then you check this new feature that they released that looked boring at first, and then you realize it's a godsend. It's just amazing. So they're software that you could depend on their development, and same with electric image. Like they had it new features that wouldn't have been possible. We had to make them in a case of electric image, so that's why the release is still pending. But that is the case. So I wanted to thank them, and so electric image and Autodesk had a lot to do with getting this done. Can't wait until it's out. I'm excited. It's been over a year, when Daniel okayed this project to get these animations for these Piggy girls. It was just, dream come true stuff. And I'm just very thankful. So, Buffalo doing a lot of stuff with film studios. I have access to a full animation lab. I am working on Artem's AV Family. I'm currently working on that stuff. I'm talking to people. I could use some investors, support your own. I want to mention Ed Thomas, one of the young, amazing artists. I started when I was like 15, 16. Met Ed. We wound up all living, him and me and Kenny, living in Kenny Cooper. It's a different Kenny. There's more than one artist named Kenny Cooper, or with the last name Coopers. So it's Kenny Cooper, and Ed Thomas. We were living in 210 Delaware. The building is gone, and but we were all friends, and we used to share cigarettes and stuff like that. It was like artist survival. It was a real artist community. Buffalo, you have a legacy of amazing artists. I hope that Ed Thomas work, he has a full gallery worth of illustrations. Illustrations is different, than fine artists. Like again, Daniel is a fine artist. Like it's like court fine artist. It's like, it's high end. It's the high end, the top level of the hierarchy, as far as artistry is concerned. But you have illustrators like Norman Rockwell. I'm repeating myself, I know, but I just want to stress that these are things that we should pay attention to. And Buffalo, you have a legacy of top illustrators. Is I adore the Albright Knox. I went to the Albright Knox Museum as a child. My mother took me there. They had art classes. That is one of the art teachers there were so encouraging. She told my mother that I have talent. I overheard them. And so after that, it was just like, I was definitely on when I was a young child. Albright Knox has everything to do with me being an artist. No, I don't have my work in Albright Knox. I do have my portions of what I'm capable as an artist and my craftsmanship in museums around the world. Guggenheim, Sentosa Museum, Sentosa Island, and this Taiwan, and everywhere that Daniel go. I'm very fortunate to be a part of it on advanced level. So I'm hoping to build some other avenues to display my work as well. Shameless and blameless promo there. So there you go. God bless you all. Love you all. Have a great day. Thank you very, very much. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of this phenomenal, amazing work by Daniel Lee, Dancing Piggy Girls. So this was back in the day. So he had already had this vision for a long time. And the shuffle, I think I could say, is based on a really big dance craze. So yeah, one more. So thank you all the dancers and the Instagram posters and all the people who are posting their Instagrams and anatomy and all of the reference and animations and steppers and all kind of dancers. Yes, I want to do something dancers with dancers in Buffalo. So y'all need to, hey, you know, you know, let's rub elbows. I think they say. So let's pull each other's coattails. I think they say. Let's bump heads. Let's shoot a cud. I don't know. Anyway, don't get me started. I won't stop. Anyway, God bless you all. Talk to you all. AVT Productions, Advanced Visualization Technology Productions.